Ah, yes. Death, taxes, and da post. Seriously, didn't know Brandon Saad was a kicker. Too soon?
Sacre bleu. I don't want to overreact.
What was that? This is going to be a good year. Not this year. The best game ever. Hello and welcome to Hawks Recap. Game 44 for the Hawks this season has just concluded. Now the Hawks coming into this game, having beaten Pittsburgh the last 9 meetings between the two teams. But Pittsburgh has come into this game riding an 8-game winning streak. So something had to give. And of course, it's the Penguins win streak that gives the Hawks win in Pittsburgh by a score of 5-3. Cam Ward getting the start in net for the Hawks in this one. Also Chris Kunitz in the lineup for the first time in what seems to be forever. The Penguins were honoring the 10th anniversary of their 2009 Stanley Cup winning team, which of course Chris Kunitz was a part of. So classy move by the Hawks getting him in the lineup. Also Caggiula's first action as a Blackhawk. Finally get to see him in action after him kind of getting delayed with visa troubles and whatever. You know, the government shutdown and holiday season. It was kind of a slow time to process those things. But he's here in Chicago, well, here in Pittsburgh officially, getting his first action as a Hawk. Time to see what he can do. Now, things didn't really start off all that great for the Hawks. They came out slow. I don't know if they were watching the end of the Bears game on TVs in the locker room or something, and maybe they were just bummed because of that, but they didn't really come out with a whole lot of fire or fight, and the Penguins were taking it to the Hawks early. Not quite 3 minutes into this game, Patrick Hornquist finds himself a small little soft area kind of near the slot. Jonathan Toews does not do a good job covering him. He gets a pass and he snaps home the shot past Ward, and the Pittsburgh Penguins are up 1-0 early. And then just about 2 minutes after that, Cam Ward gives up a little bit of a rebound in front. The Hawks very soft defensively in front of the net, and Jake Guentzel just pots home the rebound, and it's 2-0, and we're not even 5 minutes into this game. The Hawks would start pushing after that, trying to dig themselves out of the hole they now find themselves in. Brandon Saad with a glorious opportunity, but he hits the post with a shot because, of course, he would hit the post with the shot. The Blackhawks would get a power play late in the first period, however, and that's where Showtime comes into play. Patrick Kane gets the pass, has the puck, fakes a shot, opens up a passing lane where he throws across ice to DeBrincat, and he just snaps it home, cuts the lead in half, and it is now 2-1 heading into the second period. The Hawks would take the momentum they gained at the end of the first period. They'd bring that into the second period. They'd play much better in the second. And not quite 7 minutes into that middle frame, they would tie it up with a goal from none other than Chris Kunitz. His first goal of the year, a nice quick little shot past to Smith. And, well, good for him. Good for him getting a goal on this night. It's gotta feel good. And it ties the game up at 2. Hawks right back in this game. About 3 minutes later, however, the Penguins would get some offensive zone time. Phil Kessel with the puck passes it over to Broussard. Cam Ward gets over. He slides over, but Broussard's shot squeaks through Cam Ward into the back of the net, and the Penguins regain their 3-2 lead. The Hawks would get a power play at the end of the period once again, and although they didn't score technically on the power play here, Duncan Keith takes a shot just seconds after the power play expires. It gets by DeSmith. I don't know how it got by him because there wasn't really a screen or anything. DeSmith saw it all the way, and it was a shot from a long ways away, and he just didn't save it. Squeaked through. Keith gets his first goal of the year, and the Hawks have tied this game up 3-3 going into the third. The Hawks would start the third period off on the power play, and even though they didn't technically score on the power play once again, they scored just seconds after the power play expires. Showtime Kane, cross-crease pass over to Strome. He has a wide open net. He buries it, and after being down 2-0 early in this game, the Hawks are up 4-3 early in the third. The Hawks would play a smart game, shut-down game for the rest of the third period. The Penguins really didn't do a great job adjusting to it. Hawks also had to kill off a penalty, but they did. And then Jonathan Toews, with about half a minute left to go in the game, nice little turnaround shot from 3/4 of the way down the ice into the empty net. And the Hawks win this one 5-3. So, death, taxes, and the Blackhawks beating the Penguins. The 10th straight victory over the Penguins for the Hawks. And these two teams aren't divisional rivals. They're not in the same conference, so they play each other twice a year. So these 10 wins are over the course of 5 years. And it's crazy to think about that because, well, the Penguins have had a lot of success over the last 5 years. They've won 2 Stanley Cups. Now, of course, the Blackhawks have won a Stanley Cup as well over those 5 years, but the Hawks, I mean, especially over these last 2 years, they haven't been all that great. And one of those victories was a 10-1 win last year. And then also another one of those victories within the time span was an outdoor game, which is seemingly impossible for the Hawks to win in. But they did it, and they've stretched their win streak to 10 games. And, well, these two teams are done playing for this year, so next time the Penguins will have a chance to beat the Hawks, well, that'll be next year because, well, let's face it, Hawks aren't going to be making the playoffs or the Stanley Cup this year. Besides that, though, I mean, the Hawks' special teams in this game was the difference. It really was. The Hawks 1 for 3 on the power play, but essentially 3 for 3. 2 of those 3 power plays they scored right after the power play ended. Penguins 0 for 3 on their power plays with that roster. Are you kidding me? Plus a 5-on-3 opportunity for a good chunk of the time. Blackhawks fended that off. That was big. That was the difference in this game. In terms of Caggiula's first action as a Hawk, I thought he had an alright game. Now, the Penguins, for the most part in this game, did a really good job of neutralizing the Blackhawks' forecheck, which is Caggiula's strong point, so he didn't really have much to do in terms of that. So he didn't really stand out in that great of way there, but he didn't really stand out in a bad way in this game either. So that was a good thing. He was kind of just, there in the game. I think he still needs to develop some chemistry with the rest of the team. Let's give him a couple more games, see where he is, and we'll assess him then. Going away from the NHL now, the World Junior Championships concluded. Blackhawks having 7 prospects in that tournament, and a number of them had themselves a pretty darn good tournament. Although Team Canada exited in disappointing fashion, Mackenzie Entwistle had himself a good tournament on that team. You have Kurashev getting named to the all-tournament team. He was a stellar player in that tournament. Then you have Adam Boqvist. Team Sweden didn't really go all that far, but he had the game-winning goal against the USA when those two teams played. He had a pretty darn good tournament. You have Henri Jokiharju winning gold with Team Finland. You have Evan Barrett winning silver with Team USA. Overall, a pretty darn good showing for the Hawks prospects during a very, very big prospect tournament. Coming back to the NHL, the Blackhawks will finish up their back-to-back here with a game against the Calgary Flames. Should be a good one. Should be a tough one for the Hawks. It'll test their legs here. Delia will get the start in net. I doubt Kunitz will play, but who knows? Maybe that goal has bought him another game. We'll see, I guess. But thank you so much for watching this episode of Hawks Recap. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below. Like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate that as always, but most importantly, stay safe, make good decisions, and I'll see you next time.